Alright, we're going to pick up where we left off in this project. So we're done actually with the data, all the numbers in this chart, but we're going to add a line graph to make this more interesting. Before we do that, we're going to just change the color format a little bit. So the thing we're going to do next is click on the Page Layout tab and then find the Themes group, which is the first group here on the left. Click Colors, and then we're going to find the theme called Orange. Alright, next thing we're going to do is make some space for a line graph. So we want to, we're going to select a range of rows here. So we're going to place our mouse cursor all the way to the left over the numbers until you get this little pointer that's pointing to the right. And we want to point to row 8. So we're going to point to row 8, click and hold the click down and select 8 through 24. Alright, once you have those rows selected, we're going to right click, and then from the list of things here we're going to click Insert. It's going to insert the same number of rows that we had selected. They're all blank. Near row 25, so down towards the bottom of this row, there's a little tiny symbol for the insert options. We're going to click the down arrow there, and we're going to clear formatting for any of these rows. Alright, now we're just going to go back to the home cell, which is just A1 here. And now we're going to select the range A5 through F5. A5 through F5. And now we're going to go to the Insert tab and find the Charts group, which is right here. And in this group we're going to look for Insert Line or Area Chart. This is the symbol here that you're looking for. I'm going to click on the arrow there, and we're going to look for, in the 2D line area, which is the first group, we're going to look for the fourth chart type. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is lines with markers. We're going to click to select that type of chart. Okay, so the reason we made all this blank space here is to place our chart. So we're going to move it from this spot here, and we're going to place it somewhere in A8. Not all the way to the side, but close to the side. Alright, we've got our chart in here. First we're going to focus on the title. So it kind of made its own title based on this subheading. And we're going to click this, actually just right click on it, and then we're going to select Edit. Now we're going to type a different title. So select that text, type Pacifica Bay. Press Enter. Actually, we're going to add spending as well. And then 2010 to 20 14. Alright, now we're going to click the dashed border, which is this thing here, to make sure this whole thing is selected. And we're going to right click over the title, and then we're going to select font, which is going to bring up another dialog box. So in this box we're going to click the font style arrow. So right now it's set to regular, and we're going to set it to bold. Then we're going to find the font color arrow, and then in the second column click the first color. So 1, 2, black text 1. Then we're going to click OK. Alright, so the way the graphs works are there's different axes. So this first axis here is considered the category axis or the x-axis. And then this axis here, the one going vertically, is referred to the value axis or the y-axis. So here we have some values, and then we have categories, or you could say X and Y. Alright, so at the bottom of the chart we're going to point to any of the numbers. So these are our categories, but they're not very descriptive right now, they're just numbers. So we're going to point to any of the numbers, and you can see it's called the horizontal category axis. Right click, and then we're going to choose from the list, select data. So this is going to allow us to select the category names that we want to use. Right now it's set to just the numbers 1 through 5. We want to change that, so I'm just going to move this box to the side a little bit, and I want to set this to be the years. So first thing I want to do is click edit in this box. Now I'm going to be able to select these labels. So I'm selecting B4 through F4. Now click OK in this box to accept that range of data, and you can see in this box where there used to be numbers 1 through 5, now we have the labels that we want. We want to use the years as our category labels. So you can click OK in this box. And now you can see it's updated on our chart. So now with the horizontal axis still selected, this should have a box around these category names. We're going to click on the plus symbol for chart elements. Now point to axis, and then click the arrow to the right of that. In the more options, we're going to click that. So now we have this panel open up on the right hand side, and then under axis options, which we're in right now, click the fill line. So we're going to scroll over these. Each of these has a different name to them. So right now we're on axis options. We want to use the fill and line option. Now we're going to click the fill line to expand the line. Actually, not the fill, but we want to click line. Sorry, I'll collapse that. So click line, and then we want to select no line option. Then we can close this panel. So let's just see what that did. There was a line here before we deselected it. So we're just removing this line. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is change the numbers. So on the chart, okay, we're going to go over now to the left till you get the screen tip vertical value axis. Then right click in this area and then click Format. Actually, it's Format Axis, which is the last option down here. Alright, so now we're in the Format Axis pane, and then under Bounds, we're going to change the minimum value. So in our data set, the first value that we have, or the smallest value, is 4 million. So our graph here starts basically at 0 and then goes up to 4 million, counting by 2 million increments. So we really don't need this first set of numbers because there's no data in there. So we're going to change the minimum from 0, and we're going to type in 4 million. So that's 4 with 6 zeros. Press enter to accept that. So already you can see in our graph down here the data has shifted, so the lowest value is 4 million and our first number value is 4.6 million. So that would be graphed right here. Alright, so the next thing we're going to change is under units. So there's the heading units right here. In the major box, select the text 1.0 E6. And we're going to type in there 2 million 2,000,000 and press enter. So now we're counting by 2 millions again. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is near the top of the Format Axis pane, we're going to click on the Axis Options arrow, and then we're going to select from this chart area. Now we're going to click Fill and Line. So that's this bucket symbol. And in the Format Chart Area pane, so we've got Format, let's see, we want the fill. Nope, we already got that set. Alright, let me just read through this again. So we want picture, I'm looking for picture or texture fill. In the Format Chart Area pane, click Fill. Okay, that's what we needed. So we want picture or text fill. And so this is a texture, some sort of weird texture. So we're actually going to, instead of have that, we're going to choose our own picture. So under Insert Picture From, which is right here, we're going to choose a file, and this file was found attached to this assignment. So if you didn't download that already, go ahead and go to Google Classroom and find this picture file and download it. Mine's found on my desktop, yada yada. Let me find it real quick. You're looking for this picture here, 03B surfers. So select that and then you click Insert. And the image changes for the background of our chart. All right, next page. Right. In the format chart area pane, we're going to click fill to collapse this option, and if necessary, click border to expand that so you can see all those options there. And we're going to click solid line to define a border. So right now there is a border, but it's hard to see, it's very small. Okay, and then under theme, so we've got the color. In the color arrow, so we're going to click the color arrow, and in the theme colors, in the fifth column, notice that the orange accent 1 is already selected. And we're going to just accept that default color. So just go ahead and click the arrow again to close that box. But we're going to set the width to 4 point instead of 0.75. So you're going to click the up arrow to get 4 point. And then if you need to, you're going to use a scroll bar to scroll down to the bottom of this pane. I can see mine here, but we're going to use rounded corners. So just click to select that box and see how the chart now has rounded corners. Alright, to the right of the chart, we're going to click the Elements button, which is this plus thing again. This displays the list of chart elements. And then point to grid lines here. Then click the arrow next to that. And then we're going to choose more options. So now we're in the option to format the major grid lines. We're going to click the solid line options button, so we have a solid line, and then click the color arrow and be sure the orange accent 1 is selected, and it is. But we're going to set the width to 1 point, so increase that by 1. Click there, and in the chart point to any of the dollar values. So over here, and then we're going to right click and then click font. In this dialog box, we're going to change the font style to bold and then change the font color to black. Black text 1. And we can click OK in this box. Use the same technique to format the font of the horizontal category, which are the dates down here. So we need to click, right click, click font, change the font style to bold, and then we're going to change the font color to black. Click Click OK. Now we can close this Format Access panel by clicking on the X here. Alright, so now we're going to go to, we're done with all of our work, but we need to arrange it on the page correctly. So we're going to go to the Page Layout tab, and in the Page Setup group, this Page Setup group, click Margins, then click Custom, which is at the very bottom. In the Page Setup dialog box, in the Margins tab, which should be already there when you open it up, under Center on Page, we're going to center this horizontally. Oh, it's not letting me. Oh, Not sure why it's not letting me. Okay, I think I have to click outside of the chart. Let me cancel this. Make sure this is not selected. So I think I may have skipped a step. Let's see if that works. Let's go to Margins, Custom Margins. Yes. Now I can select horizontally. Click OK. Oh, I wanted to do one more thing in there. Very important. Custom Margins. We want to go to the header and footer, and then we're going to add, click Custom Footer. In the left section, on the arrow of buttons, click Insert File Name. So put your cursor in the left section and then hover over these buttons. Each one says something. So we don't want to do Format Text or Insert Page Number or Insert Number of Pages. Insert Date, no. Insert Time, no. Insert File Path, no. Insert File Name, yes. So just click on that button. And then click OK 2 times to get out of these boxes. Alright, now you're ready to turn this in. So make sure you save your work, and then you can close it. And then go to Google Classroom and upload it and turn it in.